People who were bullied every day don't just get over it, even though that's what people like to believe, because repeated social threat doesn't disappear when the situation ends. It quietly reshapes the brain to survive. Over time, the nervous system learns that people can be unpredictable, that tone can shift without warning, that laughter can turn into ridicule, and that silence can signal danger. So the brain adapts by staying alert, even when there's no obvious threat. You can see this in subtle, almost invisible behaviors, like someone walking into a room and immediately shrinking their presence. Not in a dramatic way, but in their posture, their careful half smile, the way their eyes scan faces before they decide where to stand or sit, as if they're checking whether it's safe to exist there. That isn't insecurity or weakness, it's learned hypervigilance, a nervous system trained by repeated bullying to constantly read tone, mood, and social shifts in order to avoid getting hurt again. One common response is becoming highly likable and agreeable, using humor, friendliness, and people-pleasing as a form of protection, because at some point, approval became safety, and being liked felt like armor. These are the people who say yes too quickly, avoid conflict, smooth things over, and make themselves easy to be around while quietly ignoring their own needs. And the problem is that anger doesn't disappear just because it's inconvenient. It gets pushed down, delayed, and stored until it eventually leaks out in sudden reactions that confuse everyone, including the person experiencing them. Another pattern looks very different on the surface, showing up as the invisible achiever, someone who works hard, improves constantly, and is objectively capable, yet stays uncomfortable with attention, downplays success, avoids celebrating wins, and hesitates right before stepping fully into the spotlight, because earlier in life, standing out didn't bring praise, it brought targeting. So the brain learned a rule that said, be excellent, but don't be noticeable. For others, the adaptation turns into emotional guarding, where a person appears calm, composed, and self-sufficient, rarely asking for help, rarely expressing strong emotion, and handling everything alone, not because they don't feel deeply, but because vulnerability once felt unsafe, so emotional numbness became protection. These individuals aren't detached, they're exhausted from caring without safety, and over time, that shutdown becomes part of how they move through the world. None of these patterns are personality flaws or signs that something is wrong with someone. They're coping mechanisms that made perfect sense in an environment where a person had to protect themselves every day, and the brain did exactly what it was designed to do. It kept them safe. The problem is that adulthood rarely requires the same defenses, yet the nervous system doesn't automatically update, so a neutral meeting can still feel like a threat. A neutral comment can feel like criticism, and silence can feel like rejection, even when no harm is intended. Real change doesn't come from forcing confidence, positive thinking, or pretending the past didn't matter. It starts with awareness, recognizing when an old survival response is shaping a present situation, and asking a different question, not what's wrong with me, but what did I learn to survive, and do I still need it now? Because that moment of awareness is where the armor begins to loosen, slowly, safely, and on your own terms. And if this felt uncomfortably familiar, comment down below, share it with someone who needs it, and follow for more psychology that actually explains what you're feeling.